Hello everyone, it's the Dutch Master and welcome to this brand new The Sims 4 speed build. So today I'm here with Courtyard of Colors, a brand new house in The Sims 4, and today I've also got some really exciting news because I've been invited to come to Los Angeles for EA Play 2019, and I honestly don't know yet what it will be for. Obviously it will be for something with regards to The Sims, but we haven't at the point of recording this video heard yet what it's about. I assume it will be a new expansion pack, but we literally haven't heard it yet. But yeah, I'm super excited to have been invited. As you probably know, I've been to San Francisco with EA as well for Sims Camp, and there we got to play Pets and Dogs, the brand new expansion, or by then the brand new expansion pack. Nowadays it's like almost 2 years old. But this time we're going to Los Angeles, which I'm super excited about. Going back to California, and all this for The Sims, which I'm pumped. Anytime I get an invitation like this, I'm like, okay, this hobby truly got out of hand. And when I read about it, I was like, I can't believe this, but it is actually happening. Yeah, later on in the video I'll talk a little bit more about this. I've also got some questions for all of you, but first I'll shortly talk about the video, or about this house. It's been quite some time again since the last video, but this time I'm actually here with what I personally think might actually be my favorite speed build of like recently, or not necessarily recently, maybe ever, because honestly I think the architecture or architectural features of this house are actually really interesting. This house is based around the courtyard. It's built in Granite Falls, truly one of my most favorite worlds, because I don't know why actually, but the lighting just looks so good in Granite Falls. I really like the calm atmosphere, the beautiful trees, the locations by the lake, which this lot is located on. And I think those are just some of the factors which truly make this a really cool world to build in for me. Like I said, the house is based around the courtyard, and what is really special about this house is the fact that it doesn't have a lot of color in like the building itself, but around the building in the garden I've added some planting boxes, or boxes for some shrubs, and those actually have some really bright colors like turquoise, yellow and white, and those actually bring in a lot of color in the house, which is really interesting because the house itself is not necessarily very interesting when it comes to the colors. It's very industrial. I've used a combination of wood and concrete, which I personally think is really cool. Maybe if I remember to do so, I put in an image of a house which this was inspired by. I often, by the way, for inspiration, look on Design or Design Boom. Architects will know about those websites, and also if you're an architecture enthusiast, you should definitely know about those websites, because there you can read about like the newest projects, often with new techniques, or just generally really good looking. And every now and then you see some really minimalist houses come by there, like truly in the middle of nowhere, used or built with just concrete and some beautiful wood. Truly not so big houses, like way smaller than this is, just like I guess like around 60 square meters, something like that. And then being able to slide it all open and being able to live outside, inside, often in like nice climates, and just generally very well designed, but not necessarily very big and stuff. It's sort of with the principle less is more in mind. And I sort of got inspired by those materials for this house, and also by that open living concept, which I actually implement in very many of my houses. Very many of my houses have those sliding doors, which you definitely know from me by now. They've almost become some sort of style feature of my houses. But I personally think it turned out to be sort of interesting. You can download this house from the gallery, but in a couple of minutes you'll notice that I'm actually using custom content in this house. And I know that not all of you are a really big fan of that, but you can still download the house nevertheless. Also, if I remember to, I will put the links to the custom content in the description down below. If I haven't done it yet, please leave a comment that I should, because then I'll just put it in there of some of the items, because honestly I didn't remember exactly what items I used, and I also had some still installed, and I'm not too sure if I can still find those. But of like the most important ones, which are probably like the windows, I'll add those, and maybe a kitchen set which I'm using as well, because I noticed that actually those custom content items, I use it every now and then. Often I have it like inactive in my game, but this time I just decided to use it actively again, because I wanted to have windows which had some kind of style which the actual Sims windows don't have. So I thought, I've got those windows, I can just use them, because custom content is not necessarily a bad thing. It actually makes the houses look way more interesting, if you ask me, because you've just got so much more access to, or you've got access to so many more items, which is really cool. And for me personally, I really try to install sort of Max's custom content, which means that it sort of looks the same as the Max's or just generally the Sims content, with the sort of like cartoonish look, and in that way you can actually blend it in really nicely with like the regular items of the Sims, because mostly I've used regular items, but those windows you just saw me add, not the glass windows under, like, okay, all windows are glass obviously, but not the roof windows. Those are just made using the regular roof feature, but just the like those long tall windows, those are custom content, and they actually look really cool. And also the ones where you can decide what the width of the window is are custom content as well. But that does make downloading the house slightly more difficult. It's still on the gallery, and this is very important to note, because people always say they can't find the house, but I always just mention during the video how you can actually get access to it, and that is by going to advanced and then say that you want to include custom content. If you do it that way, you'll have the house visible in your gallery, and you'll be able to download it. Also, if you don't have the custom content, I guess like it will simply be replaced by some other similar items, maybe other windows, and it might look terrible, but you can just use some of the other tall glass windows in the house instead. Or you can download and look for this custom content online, and then you can have the house exactly the way I had it. And like I said, it's built around the courtyard. You'll see me work on that later on. Or, well, actually the courtyard has been built already, I see. Which personally I thought was sort of a cool feature. And it's very open, because you cannot actually get to the bedrooms without going outside. So when you're going from like the living room, you have to go outside to go to the bedroom, which I thought was sort of cool. And especially in a holiday world like Granite Falls, where like the weather is always good, or at least that's what I imagined. That's definitely not a problem. And generally you'll see that the garden is very interesting, sort of minimalist, but actually because of the colors really interesting, and it makes the house stand out and way different from like what I've built before, and generally just different from other houses, I guess. But like I promised, I said I would come back to the invitation of going to EA Play in Los Angeles. I'm truly super excited. Like I said, couldn't believe when I saw the invitation that I would actually be going back to California to play The Sims, or at least I guess that's what I'll be doing. I can't imagine that they would invite me for like FIFA or something, so I guess it will be something Sims related. But like I said, I don't know yet what it is. And recently there was teased that there would be a new expansion pack, game pack and stuff pack in like, I believe this quarter. So I'm almost 100% sure that we'll have the announcement of a expansion pack, or of an expansion pack there, or at least that we'll be able to play it there. I'll probably be able to record videos for all of you, and then take all of that with me. That's like, it hasn't been confirmed, but I'm like almost totally sure that I will be able to record videos there in that way to show you what the new expansion pack or whatever it is like. And like I said, I've never been to LA before. I've been to San Francisco. This is literally the second time that I'm going to the US, and it is again for The Sims, so that's crazy. And like I said, last time we went to San Francisco, this time to Los Angeles, and I need some tips of where to go, because we've got some free time, not really much actually, because the event is 2 days, and I'm arriving like 1.5 day early, and I'm leaving the day after. So sort of a quick trip to the US, but of course I've got to do some studying as well. So that's the reason I couldn't stay longer. Also, I'm like sort of going alone, so not really reason to go on and travel afterwards, and I'm missing quite a bit of like the semester already. So it just wasn't really a good plan to stay for longer. But I'm planning on going to Santa Monica, like to the pier, and I believe we're staying in Hollywood, so I'll definitely be going there. But I need some tips on where to go and what the best way is to get around, because I think it would be Uber, but I mean, I've heard about Los Angeles, and I generally just know about Los Angeles that it's super spread out and everything is super far away. So I need some tips on how to get around quickly. What are good things to combine when visiting? What is like public transportation like, and how do I get a ticket? Because I just want to make most of my time there. The minute I arrive at LAX, I just want to, like I said, make most of my time. Also, I want to get a data plan or just some internet, because here in Europe, just with your regular data plan, you're able to actually have internet everywhere in every EU country. But in the US, obviously, it would be super expensive to just use my regular plan. So I want to get a SIM card just for those couple of days, just to be able to sort of stay in contact as well with others. Because like I said, I believe this time I'm not going with other Dutch people. Last time I went with 2 other YouTubers and a fan site owner, but this time I'm going all alone, which makes it like even more exciting, slightly scary. But of course, at the event there will be fellow simmers, which will be really nice. But because I also want to explore some things, I definitely want to be able to like communicate with others. So I really need a data plan, and I'm planning on just getting it right at the airport, just to, you know, I assume you can do so. But like, what's the pricing for if you want, let's say like 2 gigabytes or something like that on a SIM card? What would the price be, and what's the best way or place to go at LAX? So if you know about that, please let me know in the comments, because it would be super useful, because I just want that data just to be able to share all my experiences with all of you, because I will be like, I'll probably not be vlogging, because last time I did record some videos, but I noticed that that's just not really where my nature is at, and it does take quite some time, and it's just not something people are super interested in, even though it is quite some effort for me to record all those videos, as you can probably imagine. So I'm planning on just, you know, recording very many like Instagram stories and stuff, and Instagram posts. So be sure to follow me on Instagram, which is at DutchSimsMaster, and then there you'll be able to see all my experiences there in Los Angeles, which I'm super excited about. And I already want to thank EA for inviting me and giving me this opportunity, because truly I couldn't believe it, and I still can't believe it. Every time I just have to like touch my arm, what do you call it? Like you get to pin your arm, because this is truly crazy. Okay, so while recording this, I'm actually noticing that some of my video files actually got corrupted, which sort of sucks. So as you just saw, maybe some parts of the video were missing, and maybe every now and then there's something weird in between the video. I actually had a lot of trouble getting this all recorded as well, or actually getting it into Sony Vegas, which is my editing program, because it continued crashing all the time, and I didn't really have a lot of time to finish this, and I really wanted to get it up. But I literally spent 1.5 hours waiting for the program to load it all, and then it would continuously crash. But I'm noticing that the videos tend to be okay, but every now and then there's something really weird in there. So yeah, that's sort of stupid. I'm sorry for that, but I guess there's not too much to do about it else than just deleting those files, which is what I just did. But therefore this voiceover all of a sudden got sort of incoherent, but I'm sorry about that. Not too much to do about it. Honestly, looking back, like the video files which do actually work, I'm really happy with the way this house turned out. Also, as you can see, this is the garden, and it's actually sort of minimalist. And I planned on actually doing more, but then I noticed that actually sort of that minimalist vibe and not having too much in the garden is actually really nice. So that's good, I guess. And also the blend between just like the surroundings and the house itself is sort of natural in that way. I often don't really like it when there's a very clear edge between where you can build on the lot and where you can't, like between the lot and the rest of the world. I often think it's not really cool if you see that much of a difference. I do try to blend in like the terrain nicely as well. As you can see, like near the building, the green of the terrain is like actual grass, and then away from the house more into like the world, the grass color is different. But I try to sort of blend that just to make it work nicely in the world. So that's just a little tip from me. Also with terrain paint, you can actually really change the garden a lot, and actually with terrain paint you can do quite a little bit already. And unless you really want like the perfectly what do you call it? Mount? You do, what do you do with the grass if you want to make it like, if you cut the grass, whatever, if you want like the perfectly cut grass lane, then you should actually just use only grass texture. But often I try to put some dirt around in it just to make it look slightly more realistic, slightly better. And you'll notice that that is actually sort of a useful tip, because that makes your houses just look way better and more realistic and just more beautiful, if you ask me. Also, I just added some really cool custom content blinds. I actually have no idea where I got those from, because all of a sudden they were in my game, so I'm not too sure if they were in some sort of package. They might have been. If I find out where they come from, I'll put that link in the description as well. But I really like those, and in the end I sort of, I wasn't sure whether to add them or not, because like I said, I didn't even intentionally download them, and I didn't want to put the house full of custom content. But then I realized that, you know, once you use some custom content, it doesn't actually really matter if you use that much. And I just wanted to try it out, and it looked really cool, and therefore I thought, you know, I can just leave it, and then in case you want to download the house and you don't want to use the custom content, you can just delete it, and then you've just got the regular house sort of, or just, for me this is the regular house, but then you've got the house without the custom content, which I guess can be pretty okay as well. And here we've got the custom content kitchen, simply because I'm really missing some new like Sims 4 kitchen counters, so I really hope those are coming with whatever they're going to be showing in Hollywood. But at least if I get the chance to like talk to sim gurus, I'll talk about them, about the counters, because I really want to have new kitchen counters, because, you know, those just make your kitchen look way better, and we really need some new modern ones like we've actually got in this custom content set. Also a tip, if you want to do some indoor-outdoor building or some indoor-outdoor living space like I did here, is to use the same floor tile inside as you do outside, because in that way the blend is actually going really naturally, obviously because the material is the same. But personally, in some houses I also don't actually do that. I do actually use like two different types of materials, and then the blend and like the natural transition is actually not that natural, because like there's just really a difference between the materials. So that's a little tip from me as well. And besides that, what more is there to talk about? Is there anything I've got to mention about the house? I believe, maybe a little bit about like the bedrooms. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a really extensive like gym, massage, sauna area, some kind of wellness, which is also what like the game pack that this game pack, which is also the theme of this game pack, like massage spa day, is all about. So that's also why those items actually blend in really well in this world, which isn't actually very logical, but it might be the reason why I'm often using spa day items in Granite Falls. But also recently I saw some kind of poll about what people think is like the favorite game pack, or what people's favorite game pack, stuff pack, and expansion pack is, and I read that like spa day is their least favorite pack, or one of the least favorite packs, which for builders, don't get misled, personally I think it's maybe even my favorite pack, because so many cool items come with spa day, and like I said, I really like the world that comes with that game pack. So if you've got 20 dollars to spend, or I believe at this point it should be even less, then I would definitely advise you to get Spa Day, because it's really a cool game pack, which is definitely worth the money. And yeah, besides that, I personally think City Living is really cool because of all those industrial and like modern items as well. Generally, like, you know, I'm only building, so I'm truly all about the items and the world that comes with like with the game. I'm not too interested in like animations coming with new expansion or new items, but just generally really new items, and especially build mode items. And City Living is really good for that, and also because you've got the ability to build like penthouses and apartments, which is something truly new with that expansion pack. That is a really interesting pack for builders as well. But I'm secretly hoping for something like Paradise to be announced in LA, or at least announced maybe before LA, but being able to play that in LA. And I'm thinking University might be it as well, which would be really cool, especially since I'm in university myself now, so it would be sort of cool to maybe even relive my life there. But something tropical is truly what I've been waiting for a really long time. Something with new palm trees, something like Sunlit Tides. In case you've played The Sims 3 as well, then Sunlit Tides is sort of what I'm aiming at, or Island Paradise. Maybe that world is even better because it was slightly less like the true perfect like wallpaper island which Sunlit Tides was, because that was almost unrealistic. And with Island Paradise it was slightly more realistic, slightly more of an actual island. Yeah, Sunlit Tides was also an island, but you know, you see, it's almost, Sunlit Tides is sort of like the Maldives, which is really cool, but almost too good to be true. And then Paradise Island is sort of like Hawaii, some islands of Hawaii where people do actually live and where there is actually sort of an island life. Or at least I've never been to Hawaii, but I sort of, based on what I've seen, Island Paradise seemed to be inspired by Hawaii, and Sunlit Tides seemed to be inspired by something like the Maldives or Bora Bora, or something truly only tropical and made for or like, not made, but supposed for tourists. But Sunlit Tides would be really cool as well, because wow, that world was beautiful. But with Island Paradise, it was really cool to be able to like drive around boats and stuff as well, and making ducks into the water, and having lots which have like terrain in them, like or at least have some terrain difference in them and themselves, would be really cool to have as well. So that's something I want to talk about with the Sim Gurus as well, because if they can make that happen, that would be really cool. But maybe that's too complex for like the engine of the game. But you know, if you've got like some kind of cliffside lot, because that would really bring such a new dimension into building, because terrain tools are really cool. But I do notice that if you've not got some terrain to work with in the first place, so you've only got like a flat lot, then it's sort of hard to make it look realistic, because you know, you can create a mountain, but as you can see here in Granite Falls at this place, it's sort of illogical if you've got like a huge hill all of a sudden. So you can only play very subtle with like the terrain differences, but you can't really blend it in with the terrain nicely. So that would be really cool to have, but like I said, maybe don't get your hopes up high. I'm just like getting my hopes up high myself, but this is nowhere near confirmed or working on or whatever. I'm just spreading my thoughts. But anyways, we're at the end of the video already. There's now going to be an overview, as you're used to from me. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, despite like the lack of some clips, because of those corrupted files, which I really hate. But anyways, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope to see you back later. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram to stay up to date with my adventure in LA. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back later. I'm